The following program is rated TV MA-LSV. It contains strong language, sexual situations, and violence. It is intended only for mature audiences.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. There you go. Oh, hello. Fancy seeing you. We are live with David Potter.
What's going on?
Potter.
What's going on? What's going on? Obviously, it's the weekly bust. That makes me bust weekly. You know what I'm saying? I can't wait to be on your show finally.
Busting on their backs and their cracks. If you were just wondering what I was reading, it's called The Deadly Art of Survival with Lorenzo.
Nice.
Good
shit. Good shit. Awesome. Very cool.
What's going on, big dog?
Nothing, just working, doing a thing, living the dream, doing the thing.
Hell yeah. Are you drinking?
Holy shit, it's a weekly bust.
Wesley, Kill Eagle, that's our man.
There he is.
Well,
shout out to Wesley. What's going on, brother?
David, what are you drinking for the fans one time? Is that a nerd?
Oh, our awesome sponsor, Nerd Focus. Shout out to them. They made this show possible.
Yeah, there we go.
Let's go.
Definitely. Yeah, and been on board since day one. Nerd Focus has been on the Fight World Live taint since the very, very beginning. So big shout out to them for taking a chance, rolling the dice on a brand that's unproven. But now we're number 5. Amazon's top 100 in the world, and CBS Sports were coming for that ass. Just saying.
How many weeks have we been there?
We drop from 5 to 7, 5 to 7, so we alternate every now and then. So it depends on the day.
Well, since I've known about us hitting 5, we've always been 5, baby. We've been 5 and never stopped.
Always been 5, baby. Always been 5. And when I was with my old show, Fight Mixer, we've only reached 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. I think Fight Mixer right now is like number 18 or 19, but reaching top 5, that's big, and we have a great team. We have one of the best teams in the world, and obviously bringing on you guys who, how big of a fan I am and have been since Kai turned me on to you guys. You guys are the best in the game, in the bare knuckle game, and you guys are like a flashback. Because obviously I grew up watching mixed martial arts, but I make you the comparisons between you and Tap Out, where Tap Out were those colorful characters and promoting the sport. And by the way, they weren't always tapout.com. They were inyourface.com because they couldn't afford their own fucking domain name. And they would go to every single show selling their t-shirts out of their van. But there were those colorful characters. I remember Tap Out walking out with Josh Barnett when Josh Barnett fought against Randy Couture for the heavyweight championship of the world in 2002. I mean, they were the colorful characters that helped get UFC past that finish line. They were the hype men, and you guys remind me of that in Bare Knuckle, and you guys are doing a fucking tremendous job. You guys
Remember the tap out culture?
Fuck yeah.
That guy over there, he's wearing the tap out shirt.
Hey, man, I don't even know how to say thank you to that, man. That's such a cool description, man.
I feel like we're a mix of tap out and Wayne's World. So
Yeah, I like that. So I have a question for you. We have a tradition on the show. We ask the guests to give a version of themselves in their own words. So there's a lot of rumors you can kill by just telling the truth of who you are, and we'll let you do it. So who the fuck is David Potter?
where's David Potter from?
Who the fuck is David Potter? I mean, the big dick bandit of all of MMA. But besides that, like I grew up. I grew up a mixed martial arts fan and combat sports fan since I was fresh out of the womb. I mean, I was sitting down my mom's lap watching Joe Frazier versus Muhammad Ali, the fight of the century on ESPN. So I grew up loving mixed martial arts and MMA, boxing, pro wrestling, all that good stuff. I wrestled since I was 6 years old, since I was a baby. And I knew I wanted to fight. I wanted to compete at the highest level. But yeah, I knew besides that, when I started fighting, I knew that my end game goal was just to be involved with the fight business. I watched MMA during the dark days, during when Zuffa just purchased the brand. And just the sense of community was always there. And it just instilled my love for mixed martial arts and for boxing. And yeah, I just loved mixed martial arts my entire life. And now getting to work with the UFC and getting to all the gigs that are coming my way and everything like that, it's just a tremendous honor. I competed, my fight ability did not get me in the UFC, ladies and gentlemen, but definitely my mouth did, and definitely my personality. And,
you adapted.
It's such a treat. Like my last fight was 2021 where I won my title, and my first fight was in 2006, believe it or not. And those were smoker fights. Those were the dark days where finding a person in my little weight class, my little ass at 125, because I wrestled throughout high school. I don't know if you guys knew this, but I was a wrestler my entire life through and through. So I wrestled in high school. I wrestled in.
I love that, man. Love that.
Yeah, a while back, man. And after high school, I could not find a fight. It took me a long, long time. I had to fight in some barn in Brandenburg, Kentucky. I had to fight in Oregon. I had to fly all over the place to find someone in my weight class. And it was a journey, but instilled my love for mixed martial arts. I broke my neck in this sport. I love this sport. I love all the community and all the people in this sport, as well as all the fighters as well. And I'm honored, as a retired competitor, to be their hype man and to, help them out every step of the way, and to essentially, just build them up and to let people know not just why I love mixed martial arts, but why you should care about the fighters as well, and why you should care about all martial arts. Bare Knuckle included. Bare Knuckle are martial artists.
Did you guys hear that?
I think you gave us the best description of somebody, like you was so. This is why your mouth got you in the UFC. You're very good at what everyone's shocked by that question, man, and you nailed it out of the fucking park.
And you had the highlight videos to prove it.
That was tough.
Yeah,
you guys hear that? You won a gold medal with a broken neck. Oh, that's Clark. That's
yeah. Dude, I broke my neck in 2015, and I got when I was going for a takedown, got my head spiked into the mat, and I was planning on fighting. I wanted to fight for ECF when New York legalized mixed martial arts. So I'm like, okay, every single doctor says I'm fucked. My C3 and my C4 completely fucked. I'm getting up there in age. This was right before I turned 30. It was scary, but my passion, my love for martial arts, that's why I gained a lot of respect and a lot of street cred for taking those 2 fights in New York City. And I fought against tough competitors, and it was an honor. I scratched that thing off my bucket list, which was fighting in New York City, where, essentially my dream started, sitting on my mom's lap, watching Muhammad Ali versus Joe Frazier. And I want to preface this with one thing. When I went to the UFC and started working media and started interviewing and being a hype man, when I went to Madison Square Garden, they walked me downstairs and they walked me backstage to Madison Square Garden. I saw a big poster of Muhammad Ali versus Joe Frazier. And I'm like, hold on 1 second. And they're like, where are you going? I'm like, I got to call my mom. Call my mom. I'm like, we fucking did it, baby. We fucking did it. We made it, mom. We're from the bottom. Now we're here, baby.
That's awesome, man.
Moving
man.
around.
Our mom is our best friend, dude. So like, we share that passion with her as well. It's cool that you thought of your mom and like, dude, look at this.
Well, and just such like a core memory to be able to just be like, holy shit, like
Yeah, dude.
we here.
Now, in your highlight reel, I guess it didn't show that you're also a fucking inducted in the MMA Hall of Fame as well. And you're credited everywhere you've been. You have one hell of a career, and it's only beginning new with this new media stuff. And you're fucking killing it, man.
Yeah, and I didn't get inducted once again, not just for my fight ability, but what I was doing in the meantime, because I also had a company called Dream Elite where I was sponsoring fighters. I was also donating money to promotions to help them run their businesses. And this was completely behind the fucking scenes. Like I didn't want, like people were asking me for sponsorship money. They're like, do you want our logo on your shorts and stuff? I'm like, no, like I'm trying to help you out. And these are people on the Andes. These were people on the regional scene. And I knew I was on my way out. I knew I had 1 foot out of the door, but I wanted to contribute and give back because there's a lot of coaches. I remember training in Boston at Crew, and broke like after college kid going to Boston, wanting to train with John Doomsday Howard and wanting to train with Crew John, who he went to Thailand. He was a wrestler in Arizona, went to Thailand just to get some weed, but he ended up falling into Muay Thai, came back to Boston, opened up a gym, Crew, and I wanted to train with the best of the best. And I remember they said, well, you don't have any money, but pay us when you can and just come to the gym, train hard. And I was there at 6 a.m. and right after work at 5 p.m. And there's a lot of people that gave to me. So yeah, I got to give back. I got to contribute to the sport. But, that's what got me into the Hall of Fame was commentating, announcing, how much money I donated to fighters, to promotions, to podcasts, like especially startup companies that needed that extra bread and extra cheddar cheese. I was more than happy to do so. And, more than happy to contribute to the sport because there's a lot of people that contributed to me and my love and my passion. And, just being in the UFC and just being able to be the hype man, it's shit coming full circle, man.
What was it like to get that call? You know what I mean? Like, hey, Mr. Potter, was it like getting like, the jacket in the NFL?
Yeah, you know what? It was Jake Hatton, my manager, who, hey, so you want to work UFC in Madison Square Garden? I'm like, does a bear shit in forest? Absolutely. Like, and I got along with everybody. And who was the coolest at anybody? What was that? Oh, boys, what's up, Beard?
Wisconsin.
Yes, sir.
Yo, I gotta get some product. I look like a fourth grader on APH. You know what I'm saying? I need some product. I gotta get my beard game up.
No, back to so you was your manager.
Yeah, Jake Hatton, who's a friend and manager, Thunder Jake Hatton, who at one point in time, he was considered one of the best in the world. And I actually have an old VHS tape of him when he was fighting in Japan. So he was one of my heroes and a part of that generation that helped build the sport to where it is today. And yeah, I got that call and said, hey, you want to work Madison Square Garden? And I'm like, fuck yeah, I do. And got to interview fighters. Israel Adesanya was the coolest motherfucker and his entire team. And me and Izzy were talking about Cowboy Bebop and anime and all that shit. Like, I got invited to his after party, couldn't make it, but my cousin and his girl got to go to the after party. I got there at like 3 a.m., 4 a.m., and I ran to Dylan Dennis. Dylan Dennis, by the way, gets a bad rap, but he's one of the nicest fucking people on the planet. I used to train at Hoboken Jiu-Jitsu, and he was always there. The nicest guy on the fucking planet, and gets such a bad rap because he's Conor McGregor's teammate. He's got a loud mouth on Twitter. He's a Twitter troll, but he's a nice guy in person. Nevertheless, everyone was super nice to me, but Dana White was the nicest of all, and he could tell how much I loved it. He's like, keep it up, kid. Keep doing what you're fucking doing. Dana White, the coolest motherfucker on the planet. I know he gets a bad rap too, but coolest motherfucker on the planet.
I never met him. But David Feldman's pretty fucking cool.
Yeah, man. Dave Feldman's really fucking cool. He's great. He's great people too.
Thank you, dude. First and foremost, before we get too deep into this, for the opportunity to bring us to Amazon Prime, you were just talking about how you extend your help to a lot of people in the fight culture. Well, we're not special on that list either. We are also on that list. So I want to say thank you for the opportunity and for believing in us as well, man, because it feels like an honor from a man that's been around the culture for so long to be like, you guys are fucking doing it, man.
100%.
You know what? Like, and Bare Knuckle, this is why I love Bare Knuckle. I didn't get it. I was trained once again at Hoboken Jiu-Jitsu, and Rico Rodriguez, former UFC heavyweight champion of the world, was also trained there. And his coach was again.
We're losing you.
Why is a fucking wait? What's up?
We're losing you for a second. Yep, you're back.
You got me. So, nevertheless, okay. So going back, I was training at Hoboken Jiu-Jitsu. And Dan, my boxing coach, was also a coach for Rico Rodriguez when Rico was fighting in Bare Knuckle. And I was like, why is a Abu Dhabi champion, a fucking BJJ black belt, UFC champion fighting in Bare Knuckle? It's taking the sport back light years. This is bullshit. It took so long to get this regulated. Holy shit, yada, yada, yada. And Dan was like, just watch it. I promise you, you're going to dig it. I watched Bare Knuckle, and I'm like, holy shit, he's right. This is fucking awesome. And this is great. Like, yeah.
Have you been to a live event?
Yeah.
What's up?
You've been to a live event? BKFC?
Yeah, I went to Knucklemania, and I went to 2 events in Florida. So,
okay.
Was that Knucklemania 1, 2, right? 2.
Knucklemania 1. Yeah, I went to Knucklemania 1, and then I went to the event where Brandon Lambert was supposed to fight against the WWE guy, and Brandon Lambert also gets a bad rap, but I respect anybody that has. Listen, you can do every sport with one ball, but combat sports takes 2 balls. And symbolically speaking, for both female and male, I respect anybody that made that walk to the ring. And, even Matt Stretch, he gets a bad rap, but, he's willing to go in there and compete and do what he loves. And, you got to appreciate those fucking big brass balls. The combat sports is.
Being in the media for one thing, and gaining the respect of fighters is one thing. You just, is because we show so much love for the fighters as well. We know that their job is not easy mentally, physically, or spiritually, man. It takes a lot of dedication to get into a fucking squared circle or the fucking cage, or just the ring in general. It takes the 1%ers that are just like, that doesn't care about people's opinions, and they step in and they fucking go to war, man. You gotta love it. Even if it's Brandon Lambert.
Hey, Brandon Lambert, he's a good fucking troll, though. I gotta give it to the guy. He knows what I mean.
I respect anybody that is willing to make that walk, and Bare Knuckle, even as a younger man, like, if I could be honest with myself, I wouldn't have the fucking balls to do Bare Knuckle. So even though I was a younger man, if I was 18 again, would never do Bare Knuckle, would never even consider it. But these guys, and what I love most about Bare Knuckle too is it's a small community, just like MMA was, where, you had those niche groups like Only Hands, and you have like Bare Knuckle communities like popping up left and right. It's right now you have the diehard fans. There's a sense of community, and you get to know all the cast of characters, like all the fighters. And there's not one Bare Knuckle fighter I can say that I dislike once I learn about their backstory. Like, there are so many superstars that are yet to be discovered by the general combat sports consumer. But I guarantee you give it like a year or two, like it's gonna blow up. Like, trust me, it's going places.
Are you shocked by the rapid growth of Bare Knuckle? Because it is the fastest combat. It's the fastest sport now. It was just like last year. It was just titled the fastest combat sport. Growing in the world, right? The fastest growing combat sport in the world. Now it's the fastest growing sport in the world. Are you shocked by its popularity and rapid growth at all?
No, I'm not shocked by it, and once again, Bare Knuckle has been around, as long as, any combat sport, probably even longer, and I'm not surprised whatsoever. And they have good people in the sport. I think BYB, I like BYB. I like the product. I think production needs a little bit of tweaking and fine tuning. And, I also think Police Gazette, they have a little bit of fine tuning to do, and gotta love Police Gazette. I mean, they little known fact, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, they used to report. Wait, what's up?
They've had some weird controversies concerning their titles and shit like that. But I think if Bare Knuckle leagues can unify or do what boxing does with multiple champs and shit, I think it could be a huge community, because it is very separated. You're right about that. Bare Knuckle has a very tight community. It's not small. It's just tight. People are like you're saying, they're personable, but like they're very separated. If you feel BYB's BYB, BKB's BKB, BKFC's BKFC. You know what I mean?
Valor BK,
and then Valor, and Game Bread now come in. You know, they're all very, very separated. To see some, maybe one of the, like promotions like BYB, BKB, and BKFC, it'd be dope to see, you know, an inner competition between fighters and rosters.
Yeah. And I think the biggest problem too is the infighting. You know, it happens at podcasts, it's happened with promotions. And once again, I have the utmost respect for Mike Vasquez. You know, I talked to him a couple of times. Great guy. Dave Feldman, amazing business guy. Also, his brother Damien, amazing human being. All that family, the Feldmans are fucking awesome. And you know what? They have deep, deep roots within the boxing community. You know, and I think the infighting is the only thing that Bare Knuckle needs to work on. Podcasts need to work on it. You know, I don't know why. When you host a podcast, you are Willy Wonka and you're taking people into the chocolate factory. You're Mike and Mish do it very well. You guys do it very well. Knuckle Up has done it very well in the past, where you know you're taking people in. You're the host, but you're taking people in to the promotion and educating people why you should love Bare Knuckle and their fighters. The biggest problem with podcast hosts now, and it happens in MMA too, but Bare Knuckle is the host is Bare Knuckle. And Bare Knuckle is introducing you to the host of the podcast. If that makes any sense whatsoever, where the focal point, no matter what, should be the fighter, the fucking fighter, the fighter, and the promotion. You should be only promoting the promotion and the fighter because that's the reason why you're fucking here and you're doing your job. And I think MMA has that problem, and I think they're working on it. And I think the low hanging fruit are being weeded out, but. Once again, I think the infighting needs to stop with podcasts. Everyone needs to band together to promote the fucking sport to the general population and general public. Why you should love the fighter and the promotions. And I think the infighting needs to stop with the promotions. I think they need to work together and band together. UFC and Pride, they weren't necessarily buddy, but they cross streams, you know?
Yeah. Could you imagine a cross promotion event? BKFC versus BYB fighters, champ fighters and shit? It would go bananas, dude.
The top of the top, you know what I mean? Get jumped, they smack someone around.
Yeah, we call it creme de la creme.
Yo.
People forget this, but the MMA boom happened in Japan way fucking before it happened in the United States with Pride. Pride, the first mixed martial artists, because UFC, the first time they were on television was on the Best Damn Sports Show, period. The first fight was Robbie Lawler, and shout out to him, UFC 37.5. But the first MMA boom happened in Japan. Bob the Beast Sapp was on Time Magazine. He was on Jay Leno. This was 2003. But UFC recognized this and they said, okay, we need to grow the audience. We need to grow this fucking sport. So what UFC did was after Chuck Liddell lost and got scorched by Rene Couture at UFC Meltdown in June of 2003, Chuck Liddell's ass went to Pride to compete in the World Grand Prix. And also, Rico Rodriguez fought against Antonio Rodrigo Nogueira. So UFC was in the process of having a talent exchange just to grow the audience. They worked together, even though they were two of the biggest rivals. And K1 and Pride did the same thing. I think BYB and Bare Knuckle and Valor, Ken Shamrock, shout out to him. He was on the show a bunch of times. I love him. Talked on the phone with him. All these promotions need to band together and grow this fucking audience.
Yeah, because we turned our boy, shout out to Jeff Unger Sales. We turned him into a Jared Grant fan. He's like, I didn't know who that guy was at the start of the episode, and I loved him at the end of the episode. So that's what we're doing.
I think that was the overall mission when we started interviewing fighters in the begin with, you know, was to like, and it's kind of, you know, we didn't, you know what's cool? So I'm going to add to what you're saying right here. What the banding and the unification, it needs to be done, but also in a way that it's never been done. I mean, we have an advantage here. This is the fucking internet, and we're on the fucking cusp of a global network now. This sport's growing so fast that if we become a community, we can control a good community together. You know what I mean? And this thing will fucking pop.
I feel like it's like a bubble. It's like this. It goes. Woo.
Yeah, I agree, and it just keeps expanding like a heartbeat.
It's getting there,
And Bare Knuckle has the right ingredients, like Kai Stewart, fucking superstar, and you can tell he's a champion. Champion mentality. When you guys, your first episode, Kai Stewart, I could tell he's a fucking champion. And obviously we bonded because we're both wrestlers. He wrestled in college and everything like that. Hybrid athlete, one of the best athletes of all time. MMA, wrestling, Bare Knuckle, Kai, top notch. So
basically, That's badass.
How he commanded the room. He's like, all right, guys, production. Like, he was fucking running the production. He's like, don't talk over each other and blah, 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 blah. But, like, I became an even bigger fan. I'm proud to call him a friend now because of you guys, but I became an even bigger fan when he came on your show. You guys were the hosts and you guys are the personalities, but you introduced an entire audience to Kai Stewart. And my boy Joe, never watched combat sports in his life. He's like, that guy's a fucking superstar. Bare Knuckle has all the right ingredients. They just need the machine and the cog to get behind them. And the right people, all these podcasts come together to push these fucking athletes. They have superstars. Christine Ferreira, Arnold Allen, all these fucking superstars. The Juggernaut, holy shit, holy Santa Claus shit. That guy fucking punches and I get concussions when I watch him. All the right ingredients. You just need everyone to band together to promote these superstars. Just saying.
It's true.
Like, Preach. So, with all that experience that you carried over, what is your overall pulse on each promotion right now? BKFC and BYB. What do you think, like, the next direction for them to go in order for them to grow? Is it unification, or is that the statement?
Rephrase the question one more time. Just spin the words a little bit.
Individually, like, as companies, for the pulse of it, they are all growing at their own pace, but in order for them to grow as a band, how do you think that each company should move that about? Because it seems like from the overall consensus that there's harsh feelings towards one another. You know what I mean?
You guys are in the scene more than ever. Like, what's your pulse on it? On why they hate each other?
I think they view each other as as real competition for biting at each other's same plate, not looking at the plate being big enough for everyone. You know what I mean?
Right. Especially like, oh, this is my fighter. Don't look at him.
Right. And it's much like the same like Dana White's approach for UFC. You ain't taking my fucking fighters. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I agree upon that, but I think in order for those, they gotta, as businessmen, I should say, they can shake a fucking hand and make a unified fucking promotion that could be massive. They could sell out places like, for example, Madison Square Garden, bringing it to the big houses, or down in Vegas, T-Mobile. You know what I me? We need to get Vegas. First of all, Vegas needs to get off their ass.
I think Bare Knuckle should be in the Apex Arena sooner than later. David Potter, get it done.
I mean, I'll broker that shit, and you're right. You're absolutely right about this, because right now, Bare Knuckle is in its infancy. It's growing very, very rapidly, but it's in its infancy. And these promotions fighting over a fraction of the combat sports consumer, and the fraction of the Bare Knuckle diehard is still a fucking fraction. So if you're fighting and having a war for the best talent, because a lot of people do not have the balls to do Bare Knuckle. I hate to break it to you, but they're few and far in between, and they're the elite of the elite. People that are able to take the boxing gloves off and going in that, and also learning clinch game, and also working angles and learning angles, and it's an entirely different fucking animal. So they are the less than 1%, and the people that have the balls to do Bare Knuckle, I salute you. Mazel tov to all of you. But all these promotions fighting over that talent, it's bullshit. And you're still fighting over that fraction of talent and fighting for that fraction of an audience and trying to split a fraction into another fraction, which is still a fucking fraction. Why not grow the audience and help build the sport? And that's my personal opinions. Someone's got to broker this and come together, come in the middle and say, hey guys, let's just do a big event, a big super show. Let's just do a tournament or something like that. Let's do syndication, because Ultimate Fighter at the end of the day was a big infomercial for UFC and for mixed martial arts. And that's how the MMA boom started in the United States in 2005. Why not do syndication where you have BYB versus BKFC, where David Feldman versus Mike Vasquez? I'd watch that fucking show. I get hard just thinking about it. It just went from 6 to midnight just talking about it.
No. Oh man, I was like, dude, if those CEOs get their time.
David's about that life. For real. Feldman is about that fucking life, dude. That's a business owner. You're like, I don't want to fight that guy, dude.
As I say, I don't know if this sounds dumb, but it would be fun almost to be not like rooting for football. You have almost like a sports team based on, you got BKFC or the BYB shit, so you could bring the fans together to kind of root for their roster.
Let's simplify that even better. Do you remember WCW versus WWF?
It's literally.
the money that was there and the growth that happened during that process was insane, dude. Now look at WWF buying WWE, buying UFC. You know what I mean? Like that's the kind of fucking growth that happens when you do shit like that.
They're intangible.
It's insane the amount of power if you guys come together type of shit. Who's your? You mentioned you ran through a few awesome, legitimate fucking superstars in my eyes because these guys, like you said, they're growing into these, personalities that they are getting a lot of fucking camera time and they're all over the place. Like, who's your favorite bare knuckle fighter that you're keeping your eye on right now?
You know what? I'm kind of engaged with all of them. I like every single bare knuckle fighter. And I think. The reason why I respect bare knuckle so much is because I can identify as a martial artist and a mixed martial artist. I would never have the balls to do that. So I respect everyone that gets in there and puts it out on the line and everything. And the fact that the MMA, the bare knuckle community is so small and they all communicate with each other and they all are so engaged with the fans and their audience, you get to learn bits and pieces about their personality, and I love Christine Ferreira. I'm proud to call her a friend. I made her T-shirts for her championship fight, helped out with her banner. I love me some Christine Ferreira. Visited her at Mayweather's team when I went for the MMA awards in Las Vegas in December. Stopped by her in her training camp at Team Mayweather. And shout out to Uncle Mayweather. He's the nicest guy on the fucking planet. But
no, dude, I didn't know that you've been around the Mayweather family.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, man.
Floyd included?
Fuck yeah, man.
What?
That's awesome.
That's so fucking sick, dude.
That's legit.
He's my all-time favorite, dude. Like, if I was around Floyd, I would probably become starstruck, legit.
Boxer?
Yeah.
I was always a Jones Jr. fan.
Roy, I love Roy too.
So,
hell yeah.
I want to rephrase that. So it's for real. Like, so if there was a person that you were just like, they had no idea what bare knuckle was, who would you want to show?
Like if you had to watch somebody fight.
Yeah, be like, dude, I'm showing you this right now. Who would you go to right now?
Kind of fucking stumped me on that one.
Yeah, see? Curveball. I'll throw a slider next.
You know what? I'd show an entire event, to be honest with you. And we watched BKFC at my cousin's house, and we had like a room full of like 8-9 people and 8-9 heads just all watching, and everyone was engaged. And this is the first time a lot of people were watching bare knuckle. But if you watch an event in its entirety, you're gonna find somebody identified because once again, it's a very colorful cast of characters, and everyone likes the fighter they can identify with more. That especially blue collar. If I'm a blue collar worker, I'm gonna identify with that blue collar fighter who works a 9 to 5 and also trains and pursues his passion. I'm gonna identify with that cat. So I think bare knuckle, and the reason why it'll be so successful is because they have all identifiable characters. And I would show an entire event in its entirety and every single fight, so somebody can find that one identifiable character, so they keep watching.
Who's yours? Who right now? Yeah, who do you show fans and shit, or people that are curious about bare knuckle? Who is this is it, man?
Because we live in Great Falls.
Yeah,
because we live in Great Falls.
Well, just anywhere, dude. When you're on about,
you are like showing somebody.
Yeah,
it's gonna be one of our 2 dogs, Stewart or Juggernaut.
Oh hell yeah,
that's awesome.
I'd say Lorenzo has such a fucking highlight reel. I think he's an easy guy for me to reference.
Or if you want to watch a bloody bang out, I'm gonna show him Tyler Good Jones.
That's awesome too, dude. But my favorite stars right now are obviously, I'll name them right now. I got 4 of them. I got Faria, I got Jug, I got Kai, and I also got Gogo. Those guys are the guys I love to watch. Like, I get excited for their fights. I'm like, oh shit, here we go, dude.
Hell yeah,
that's a good list.
Yeah. What about yours, Jake?
Man, I've watched I'm still newer to this, so I was digging our boy Boswell, Jake.
Oh, Bruto, yeah, Bruto's a beast, dude. He's from London, man. He gets down, dude.
Fucking sick.
Really, I mean, some of the dudes that aren't as big, ODB, man, Bobby Taylor, we had him on the show. He's a fucking bad boy, and he's older. Like,
he's that blue.
I haven't heard from him movie. I wonder what's going on with him.
I haven't hit him up recently, but I was staying in contact with him on Instagram, just talking to him about his training and shit. And he had some stuff coming up and whatnot. But I don't know, just some dudes that good bangers. And yeah, I mean, obviously Kai can fucking scrap out, and Jug, and there's a couple big ones, that are rising up that obvious to point at. But I've been trying to just find some random fighters.
Yeah,
it's been fun.
I think it's cool that superstars are there now. So when we were in Albuquerque, man, we had John Jones in audience. We had Holly Holm in audience.
Yeah, we did.
I got to meet John Jones. Levi met John Jones. It was fucking cool. Guy's an absolute monster in person, by the way. When I shook his hand, I felt like I was a kid shaking his hand. I was like, holy shit, no wonder you knock people out, Doc.
I was like, when I met him I met him first time I met him was 2013, and it was at like a UFC event, and we were talking because he wrestled up in New York. He also trained with Team Bomb Squad. I had a bunch of people that actually trained at Team Bomb Squad. So we were talking about that and like chewing the shit. And I was talking to Forrest Griffin. I got to see him again when I was working the Hall of Fame and I was on the red carpet. Got to see Forrest Griffin. Funny story about Forrest Griffin. After we were done talking, it was like a 30, 40-minute conversation that we were all hanging out. He had to catch a flight. I'm like, Forrest Griffin, have a good day. He's like, don't fucking tell me what to do, motherfucker. And I'm like, I love Forrest Griffin.
That's fucking awesome, dude.
Great people. But John Jones is a great guy. Yeah, he's a great guy.
Yeah, no, he's cool. And then, what was it, like a week or 2 weeks later? Then you have Connor jumping in the fucking ring wearing a fucking BKSD belt. Jugs, by the way.
Yeah, the Denver card.
Yeah, which is fucking bananas. You're like, what, dude? What? The exposure and the stars are loving it. People from all promotions. Adrian Broner was there, and then Shaq pulled up in Miami. Motherfucking this, it's getting a lot of announcing recently.
Chael Sonnen's been announcing for Bare Knuckle.
Oh yeah, and then Sonnen's great. If you don't love his fucking podcast and what he has to say, dude, I love like listening to his takes.
He's been one of the best on the mic for
his takes are fucking awesome, dude, and he loves the sport.
You better watch out because the boys are coming through.
Because bad motherfuckers, dude, bad motherfuckers like Luke Rockhold, fucking like you were saying. These guys are bad. These are extinguished. I mean, like existent bad motherfuckers that literally just left another promotion. He said he ain't coming back. He's he said
2,000 dollars a day.
Yeah, and just like fucking Joe Rogan and Sean O'Malley said, he's like, that shit's for the dogs, dude. Sean O'Malley said he wouldn't do it either.
That's crazy. I didn't know that.
He did say that.
Yeah, he said this shit's for the dogs, dude. He's like, I wouldn't do it.
Yep.
Hey, Weekly Bus. Somebody mentioned your favorite people.
Shout out to Jeff.
Hey, I've never.
What's going on with Planet Hank? Like, and by the way, I preface this where I'm sure he's a great guy. Like, I'm sure he's a funny comedian and everything like that. Don't like the fact that he talks shit about you guys, and that just turned me off to him completely. And I've never been a fan of the fuck like it's not my type. It's different strokes for different folks. If you dig it, you dig it. If it made you a Bare Knuckle fan, fucking mazel tov. It's just not my cup of tea. But like, what happened with you guys? Why'd you guys start beefing?
We don't even have an actual reason, dude. One time he was dogging one of
I think it's the same reason that everybody hates us.
Kai.
Yeah,
it was. I think it starts with Kai. You know what I mean? Kai is Kai. You know what I mean?
And then Louis went on there, and then he sponsored Louis. And
war went on from there, and he started. He mentioned our boys from Mike and Mish, and they're our dogs, dude. We fucking shout out to Mission Accomplished and their podcast. I always like to reference them as the most informative fucking like Bare Knuckle podcast. Those guys know their shit.
Yeah, they got.
And they're also military. I come from a military family. If I didn't love mixed martial arts so much, and my dad talked me out of it, I went to East Orange. I tested for the military. I took that battery test. If I didn't love mixed martial arts so much, I was going to follow my fucking dad's footsteps. He was in the Navy. My grandfather was in the 5th Armored Division, the Victory Brigade, going town to town and smoking some fucking Nazis. Like, they're military veterans. They're fucking heroes. And, it's, got to support Mike and Mish. So, I don't know how you can have a fucking problem with them,
Commitment to the country.
I think he called him racist at one point.
Yeah, he's just direct, and I get his gig. He likes to, he's a comedian that roasts people.
That's his Big Boy podcast. I told us about him.
That's his kick, man. So half of it I understand is, some of his entertainment, maybe a mask of guys that he puts on for the show.
Trying to drum up.
I've never had any real conversations with the guy, but when he was talking shit about Mike and Mish, that's when I was like, fuck this guy, man, because they were too nice of men to stand up for, or not necessarily stand up for themselves, but like they were too nice of men and gentlemen to fucking engage with them. And I said, fuck that, dude.
They said they used to get on each other's show, talk shit back and forth, and they're like, yeah, then it got too, you know what I mean? Then it got too much.
Too heated
on the Hank side.
Yeah.
You're froze up, Potter. Are you there? There you are.
Okay. Oh, I'm there. I'm here like swimwear. What's going on? But I was listening. You guys can hear me, right?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Yep.
But this goes back to what I was saying, and yeah, I actually saw that clip about hating on the Special Olympics, and that was pretty bad. You know, I think Planet Hank could be very, very talented because he has practiced mixed martial arts. He has been on the mat. He's had the balls to step in there. He can be so entertaining without the drama and without the fighting and, you know, causing the infighting and everything like that. Like, and last night, like, there was the What the Fuck Network and Cody ruffling feathers and like brought my name into it. He's like, oh, must fucking Harry Potter. And like somebody told me about it.
Yeah, Unger Sales hit me up. He's like, your boy Potter's getting drugged. I was like, what the fuck? Are you kidding me? What was said? I didn't get any details.
But my boy told me, and everyone just started fucking trolling in the comments, and I started responding too, like, and he was like, "Oh, I make millions of dollars, okay? Like, I make more money than you, okay? Show us bank statements. Oh, I'm not gonna post my account information, David Potter, Babu nothing." And I'm like, "Oh, okay, all right." So, and then everyone just started fucking trolling, and you know what? Once again, everyone could be so talented, just being their lovable, colorful characters without starting all the fucking drama and the fighting and all that bullshit, because that just turns people off, you know? Like, and if you're trying to attract the casual viewer, and if you're trying to, you know, get the casual viewer to watch Bare Knuckle and love Bare Knuckle, your focus as a podcast should be the fucking fighter and the promotions. That should be your only fucking focus. You're trying to grow the audience so you make money. Because if you grow the audience, you grow the brand of Bare Knuckle, your brand is going to grow just by proxy. But people don't realize that, and they want to use Bare Knuckle to promote themselves and stir up fucking shit. Stirring up shit with me is a bad idea because I am universally respected in the community. I don't know how it happens. Maybe because I don't fucking know, but like, you know, it's bullshit. You know, it's all fucking bullshit. You know, it's crazy.
For a reason. He's the man, dog. You're the dog. I love how seasoned you are because I've been taking notes from you for a while now on how you conduct yourselves in interviews, and I've been watching you for a little over a year probably. And me and Levi fucking sat silently, watched you as fans, and just watched you develop like in our own eyes, because you know you fairly came into us when we started covering fighters.
Oh, I remember when we started about the Potter thing. It was that vote and only hands.
No, he reached out to us after that, but me and David were talking prior to that. But we basically manifested you into our lives, dog, because you were in daily or like at least conversation a lot more than most motherfuckers, and you were coming up all the time. But we were just like, we're fans of you, and before you know it, Fight World and the Weekly Bus branched in, and it was like destiny. I swear to God, I truly believe in the law of attraction and manifestation. And it was like we manifested one of the fucking most decorated guys, man. And I feel so honored to be a part of what you got going on because of who you are, man. Legitimately.
And the honor's all mine too, and especially when I left Fight Mixer, because we started Fight Mixer under the confines of a pandemic, so everyone was home and everyone was, you know, obviously there was a lack of mixed martial arts and a lack of bare knuckle and a lack of any type of sports on television. That's Matt Seibel contacted me to get into Fight Mixer, and that's what made me join, you know, and I was with Fight Mixer for about 2 years, and then I got complacent where I want to, and Matt Seibel, the smartest business guy ever, loves bare knuckle, but his bread and butter is definitely not mixed martial arts and pro wrestling, anything like that. So I want Fight World Live was going to be just a collective meeting of the minds. You know what I'm saying? Like, so that's what the premise of Fight World Live was going to be, you know, and just a meeting of the minds, a collaboration, everyone promoting everyone promoting the fighter and the promotions, because that's why we do.
Like such as like what all sports and combat sports are you going to be covering? I see that you got a MMA group, obviously, that you're heading, right? I've seen that you have us now. It's Bare Knuckle. You also got a group for WWE. Am I correct about that?
Wait, what's going? Yeah. I love WWE, especially during the dark days of mixed martial arts when it went underground and John McCain pretty much buried mixed martial arts and told all politicians, which is ironic because he said hitting a man down opponent is un-American, you know, and that was his premise of his argument. That's human cockfighting. Yet John McCain was actually at a fight in boxing where somebody fucking, and you know, he had no comment about that. So it was very contradicting. But when fucking UFC went underground, that's when I started watching WWE. Holy shit, Ken Shamrock's coming over. Dan Severn, shout out to him, good friend of mine. And also, like, you know, Mike Tyson was a referee for HBK versus Shawn Michaels. Fucking penny dropper, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, I was that's what got me into WWE, and I was a big fan of Owen Hart, Bret Hart. And shout out to Martha Hart and the Hart family. I actually worked for Hart Legacy Wrestling as a commentator in Elmira, New York. So I'm a big fan of the Hart family. And yeah, you know, like, great people.
Owen Hart, Bret Hart. Oh, good.
Hell yeah.
I was just watching a show called The Territories on Vice where it talks about like the OGs of wrestling, and they're talking about the Hart family and just it's the tradition behind all that.
So are you covering it? I just wanted to ask that. The question was what all is Fight World covering right now? I know that we got the MMA, do you have a boxing show as well, like dedicated to WBC and shit?
Yeah, we don't have a boxing just yet. We have someone that we have a show called Spot Monkey Radio that focuses on pro wrestling, and they've been in the game for quite some time. They're like you guys, where you know they cover the sport. Tony, I've been friends with since probably 2009. You know, I've known him. No, 2008. That's when I first met Tony and those guys. They do a great program, and they're very knowledgeable about the sport, and they're like you. They're fucking hilarious. And we have Fight World Live, which covers the entire like compass of mixed martial arts and combat sports and pro wrestling. We have Planet Ratchet, which has Jessica Link, who is a BYB fighter. She works with Ali, and they talk about all types of weird shit, whatever comes to mind when they're ripping a fat bung and fucking smoking weed. Whatever comes to mind, they'll talk about. And we have my brother Bobby, who plays video games, and we have everything. It was something for everybody. But we don't have boxing.
I need to check that out. So your brother just covers video games? And
yeah, he's a great player. He's a great video game player. Absolutely.
Apex? That's right down Jake's alley, man.
Yeah, I would love to. We went to this arcade outside in Houston, and it was just this big ass factory that had like a brewery in it too, and it just had like fucking everything you could think of from back in the day. All the cool new shit too, but it had like 40 pinball machines and yeah, I would love to watch your brother's show. I'm going to check that out now.
Fuck yeah, absolutely. And we also have I forgot to mention, we have a new show coming up called The Come Up, which is pretty much they're going to be traveling to every single promotion on the regional scene and hosting the show from that promotion and round robin bring every single fighter on the regional scene, because we don't want to just obviously we have like Ryu Rosas Jr. who's going to be coming on, UFC fighter, and we have a lot of guests that are coming on, a lot of celebrities that are coming on, but we also want to promote the next generation of fighter. We want to promote them, and we want everybody to love every single fighter on the fight scene. So The Come Up is going to be, we're going to have 4 hosts, my cousin Sean, Hector, who's my protege, and we have the guys from Bantam Shot who are going to be just like, it's like Impulsive, like Logan Paul, where it's going to be chill. They're going to be setting up their podcast, their show, and they're going to have every single amateur fighter from that event on the show. So it's going to be really fucking cool, man. It's going to be really cool.
Should we dedicate a room in my house towards the show so we can smoke weed and do what we want?
A think tank, dude.
Yeah,
that'd be so good.
And call it the post show,
bro. So I had a question concerning fucking. I just lost it.
Sorry.
I had a question on The Come Up. Is that covering amateurs?
Yep, like, just amateurs.
Oh, hell yeah. Sweet.
I think this might get fans excited as well. So I love how you worded it too. You're like, we're just giving a platform where we can get to know the fighters, and we'd love to do that on a personal level, right? Well, we got it. Everything's all green lighted on your end, our end, Kai's end. I think we're going to be dropping a documentary on Kai Stewart on Fight World Live. Is that correct?
Yeah, absolutely. And everyone should be educated of how much work and how much blood, sweat, and tears goes into becoming not just a combat sports athlete, but a bare knuckle fighter. It takes mental, physical, cutting weight, going to training every single day, getting your head punched and vice versa. You know, there's a lot of shit that goes into making a champion. And I'm looking forward to the Kai Stewart documentary because he encompasses everything that a champion's all about. And a multiple champion at that, and not just wrestling and not just mixed martial arts, not just bare knuckle, but most importantly in life. He is everything that encompasses a fighter, a combat sports athlete, and a man. And I'm very, very excited to watch the documentary, and hopefully it does drop on Fight World Live.
Yeah, we just got a few things to cover up, and we'll get it done. But
it's
100%.
It's one thing to be a badass, but to be putting those vibes out in the community like he does, and putting in, you know, he's putting the time in the mat, and then, you know, investing in
Every
his
day.
community.
The guy never stops.
Yeah,
the guy never fucking stops.
That's a true champ there, for real.
Yeah, he was down there teaching them kids because we didn't really have a head coach. Like, I'm going to go down and train with Dave tonight because Kai, Ty, Christian, all them are heading to Washington for the show.
Oh, yeah. Shout out to our Northwest Kickboxing League. We're going to be live streaming their fights.
Pay-per-view.
Tomorrow night. And
not free, pay-per-view.
So we're going to be doing that over there in Washington. It's going to be our first streaming event out of state. So it's kind of a big move for the Bust. It's going to be neat. It's a whole new audience, really, essentially, for the group of boys that are around us. It's going to be really fun. Awesome. I think that we're going to see some exciting shit. I've never hosted or I've never been to a live kickboxing event that's entirely dedicated to kickboxing.
I know one fighter. We know one fighter on the card. Todd Twitch Ray.
Oh yeah, we know Tosh. He's going there. Okay,
he's going for another belt.
Sweet. I'll be seeing to see him again.
But yes, shout out to our boy Kai Stewart. I feel like he's a very respectful individual.
Speaking of bare knuckle events, we do have a big one coming up in Albuquerque. We got massive stars that are actually going to be on this. One being Bryce Hall. It's cool when you're talking about people bringing attention to the sport. Well, Bryce Hall is huge on the internet, especially for these youngsters. And he's going to be fighting our homeboy G Perez. He's the cut man in BKFC. He's our dog. He's making a name for himself, I think, right now.
Another guy that doesn't fucking quit.
Yeah,
G Perez.
G's a dog, dude, and he's 3-0 right now. And they're going to be going to war. I think Bryce Hall is being trained by Lorenzo the Juggernaut Hunt. And it's going to be pretty fucking awesome to see these guys go to war. If Bryce Hall can put in the dedication and really soak in what Juggernaut's about to teach him, we potentially could see G get his fucking best fight yet, because G is so technical and good.
And I've met Lorenzo. He's got a mind like a fucking mad scientist for boxing. Like the weight. I was talking to him before one of the fights that I went to in Florida, and talking to him, it reminded me a lot of talking to Elvin Brito, who him and I were just fucking bullshitting. Just bullshit.
That was the dog.
The devil's in the details, and they know every single intricate detail about fucking bare knuckle boxing, and just picking Lorenzo's brain. And by the way, his daughter is a very good saleswoman because they were raising money. She kind of nudged me and she said, "Hey, can you spare some money for me? Because we're raising for this great cause." I'm like, "Fuck yeah, here's a 20." Like, great sales lady. So to Hunt family. But yeah, he's got a mind for bare knuckle, and if you're gonna align yourself with somebody, Lorenzo Hunt's gonna be the guy to align with.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be interesting. And to further that card's interest, man, we got a UFC vet and a guy that's a champion right now. We got John Dotson lining up against RJ Ridge, which is they're both high. Oh yeah, JR Ridge, my bad. They are both high octane fighters, man. They're very balls to the wall. They're both bang. It's going to be a fucking main event that I think a lot of us will remember, and it may go to the fucking fifth, and because they're tough.
Wait, time out. Who yet you support Louis Lopez? Get real and consistent. Then who supported Louis?
They're arguing in the comments. I think people are going back. Two episodes in a row they've been arguing in the comments.
Yeah. I did not support Louis Lopez. I was definitely rooting for Kai Stewart. I respected Louis Lopez as a competitor, but a lot of the backstory that was going into that, I was very. I want to keep it keep it civil, but I was definitely rooting for Kai Stewart. Just the backstory was enough alone to pull for Kai Stewart. But respect to Louis Lopez for getting in the ring with one of the best in the world, if not the best in the world, Kai Stewart. So,
hell yeah,
man.
145-pound division, baby.
I think what would be fun G and Jug, if you could get little update here and there before the fight.
We just had Lorenzo on and he gave us a little bit of insight and he wants to come back before this fight. So
even if it's just like a little 30-second clip.
Our dog, we haven't had him on for a while and we love him to death. And I think that would be an awesome fucking guest to have on in the next week or so. Put G on.
Or if we could do like a dual episode where you just do like 30 minutes for each dude or some shit. That would be how they feel right before the fight. Yeah. You know what I mean? That would be kind of hard.
Like we did with James Lilly.
Go-Go. No.
Was it Go-Go?
We had the homeboy on and then
Jake Lindsay.
Yeah.
Jake Lindsay. Yeah. That was neat actually. Yeah.
He's about to fight. Well, it's funny because Go-Go.
The Gypsy, man.
Now they've got their poster out. That's just gonna be a banger too.
That is gonna be bananas, dude. I think. Wait a minute. Number is did we instigate that fight? On our show? I think we built that fight.
No, because
they were talking shit to each other. Are they contracted? Okay, yeah.
Fight already.
We've done this
That's
before.
Why we bring
actually.
them on, so
we broke news where the fighters themselves had just gone off on each other.
Hey, the Richmond and
all of a sudden they're fighting. We're like, oh shit!
Started cooling here too. So Richmond versus Jugs.
Yeah, the Richmond and Jug situation was boiling in our show at one point. We're like, oh fuck, man, we had our ingredients in this design here.
Yeah, because Jug came on, and then they're like, they're gonna fight, and then there's a fake contract. They didn't fight, and then they both had the one more.
And then they both come on the show and say, we're not fighting anyone else.
And then guess what? On Knucklemania 3, Creme de la Creme, they had those two. Which
was
awesome.
At one point, both of them were on our show, and they said, we're not fighting anyone else until we fight each other. Period.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I think there's some infighting in the comments. I just talked about we got to band together to grow this sport, and fucking people are fighting in the comments. That's lost in transition.
That's
his fucking Harry Potter fought for nothing. Yo, that made me get a boner.
David,
you mentioned you got guys to respect because he's got your back. Shit starts going haywire. It's all good. It happens. We're here for it. Guerrilla War.
We're here to talk about David Potter.
So. Fucking
absolutely. He's the man that's decorated. So, dude, David, what is your most memorable moment? And actually, this is a question I had way earlier, and this has been in the process of your career. Actually, you've met, and you hung out. You've been in a ton of gyms. Who's your favorite person that you've got a chance to roll with or train with in general? Like
Gio Alvarez.
UFC related.
Oh, UFC related.
Yes, sir.
Could it be any mixed martial arts, or could it be? Okay, cool. So Gio Alvarez was my favorite submission magician. He's my big brother from another mother. He was supporting me every step of the way, from my fights in New York all the way to my last fight where I brought home a title. And he's a BJJ black brown belt, and he is a great guy, awesome guy. When COVID happened, we were training in his fucking basement, laid down mats, and he brought down people, and we were just fighting in his basement. And he was one of very few people that knew that I had a bad neck. And the reason why I didn't disclose that, because whether I won or lost, I didn't want to make an excuse, and that was my main priority. And he was walking me through every single step of the process, because he was in the game for quite some time and he was all over the country. So he kind of guided me through, okay, if you're going to do this, we're going to do this right. And he was with my last 3 training camps, and I love Gio Alvarez. He's one of my favorite people. So shout out to him.
Yeah, man, the basement brawls, dog. We've all been there.
Fuck yeah. And he was there. He was there when I got inducted, and I gave him a big hug. And he's my big brother from another mother, and had some gangsters, some papachulos when I was training for my last fight, some serious gangsters from the Boogie Down Bronx fucking wiping me down and fucking giving me water and shit. Like, we had a serious training camp. So shout out to Gio Alvarez, fucking great guy.
I was just going to say I was jealous when you were just talking about getting to talk with Forrest Griffin for a little bit.
That was my bad. I have a problem when people openly support pedophiles. What is going on in the comments?
You don't have to apologize.
Yeah.
I just support.
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? I just talked about, come on, guys, let's all band together.
Yeah. Who's your guys' favorite? All right, let's tell us in the comments who is your favorite. Yeah, I was just about the Forrest Griffin thing. He was always seemed like a super humble dude and just fucking
that story's rad as hell.
Bad man. So
you were at the 30th like anniversary gig at UFC, right? Weren't you just on GSP? Did you get any time with them?
Yeah, on the red carpet to the Hall of Fame. So they put me on the red carpet. GSP I got to talk to. Misha Tate I got to talk to. Raquel Pennington and Tornado. Tisha Torres, I think so. Tisha Torres. Yeah, and GSP. And we talked. We talked about the early days and also him because they just announced that he was going to be on the UFC grappling on UFC Fight Pass. So we got to talk about that. Got 30 minutes to talk to him. Fucking great guy, awesome guy, and I was just honored to be at the Hall of Fame, and got to work the Hall of Fame.
Is he signing a contract with Dana to fight again? Is that the rumors hearing?
So he's doing a grappling competition, and this is going to happen in December. So yeah, he's not fighting again, but he is going to be grappling on UFC Fight Pass.
The rumors are fucking flying that him getting involved in something like this is bringing him back.
I think just by the temperament and just by the conversation where. I don't ask. I ask layup questions because my job is to promote the fighter to the viewer and why you should care. So I structure my entire conversation with every single fighter of here's the first part of the conversation where why you should care about this question, and then I ask the question. But his temperament and just telling by his answers, he does not want to go back into UFC, but he wants to elevate the game of grappling, which I can appreciate, I can respect, and he's going to be on UFC Fight Pass to grapple, hopefully against Khabib. People are talking about Khabib. There's some inner talks going on. I don't mean to give any spoilers.
This is what the rumors are circling, because everybody wants it,
2 retired guys going at it and a good fucking grapple.
And GSP is in phenomenal shape. The guy's a freak of fucking nature, man. If you watch any of his shit behind the scenes, he's always getting it, man. He hasn't stopped since he retired. He's a fucking animal, dude. GSP is my favorite. He's my favorite UFC fighter. That's why I wanted to bring it up. If I had the opportunity, I just wanted to see if maybe we're going to get a chance to see him in there again.
Yeah, he's not going to just by talking to him and he's not going to get back into fighting, but definitely grappling and elevating the grappling game, just like he was a part of that generation to help elevate the UFC. So he'll definitely be in grappling. I don't think he comes back to the UFC. So
okay, there was. I just had a thing pop in my head. There's a new announcement from David Feldman about the Prospects series, so that's gonna be fucking pretty sick. That's kind of like something like, not like a show, but a show
has
like to come up for deep, people that are getting ready to get into bare knuckle. That's fucking sick, I think.
Bare Knuckle does a fucking BKFC in general does a really cool job. That does kind of like what Showtime Boxing does behind, what the fuck do they call it? I can't remember. I'm having a brain fart, but they do a series on before the fight,
Like behind the ring or something.
Yeah. And they have deep cuts that they do highlights on. A lot of them are the main fighters coming up, and deep cut is fucking sick, dude. Gogo's was so good. Faria's was really good. Motherfucking Mike Perry's was good. If you really are wanting to get to know more about your fighter that you like, maybe they'll get a fucking chance, or you can reach out to BKFC and fucking flood their comments with, I want to see so-and-so on deep cuts, because they do a really good fucking job. I enjoy getting to watch those prior to the main events. It's fucking dope.
They're doing all the right things where you have to educate the viewer and the people that are watching BKFC on why you should care about this fighter. That's how you're going to grow the audience. Promotions do not sell tickets, do not sell pay-per-views. The fighters do. The personalities do. The promotion is just a platform, and once again, Willy Wonka, that the promotion is bringing into the chocolate factory and showing all the cast of characters and all the people. You got to introduce the colorful characters to the people watching at home because someone's going to relate to it. Somebody is going to be drawn to that one person, follow that one person, buy tickets to watch that person's fight. That it's just the law of attraction, and people are going to be relatable. If you're going to make some money, you got to make your fighters relatable. And, fuck everything else. Invest money into marketing all these cast of characters because I don't dislike any bare knuckle fighter, and everybody can sell tickets, and everyone has a personality that people can relate to. And, yeah, everyone's likable in their own right. So why not? They're doing everything right. It's going to take a little bit. I give it like a year or two, but I think they're going to cross that threshold.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. And I think the pay-per-view money is going to help out a lot in order to structure this kind of vision that BKFC is doing. Everyone was pissed off about the pay-per-view, Bobby. You guys don't like
Denver?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But nobody truly understands that this shit takes a lot of money. It's a big machine, dude. And in order to get people and events and venues and all the production, all the nice cameras, everything takes a ton of cash, dude.
I mean, just look at BKFC in the last year. That production value just went up.
It didn't make no sense when fans were bitching. I get you. You want a better promotion, right? Then help fucking make this a better promotion. You know what I mean? Because that's exactly I get. And I think the app is fucking dope. The way that BKFC did it. I mean,
it's just on Roku.
It got its kinks, right? Yeah, it got its kinks. But the overall idea of what BKFC did in order for the fans to just, get a monthly subscription, super fucking affordable. And
$7.99.
Yeah, it's affordable, dude. And you get all this content that you fucking don't get anywhere else, man. It's dope.
Yeah, you can just sit there and watch tape if you want.
Yeah, that was my cousin's beef, is that we'd be mid-fight, some badass shit going on, and it would drop out.
It's that Roku. Yeah. Roku's a motherfucker. Oh, do you have an update on Roku, David?
Yeah. So everything is going smoothly with Roku. I'm glad you guys mentioned that. So hopefully we're launching within 2 weeks. So everything went smoothly. Our integration team, we have a very, very talented integration team. So yeah, we're going to be on Amazon Prime, Roku, and by the end of season 1, we're going to be on Apple TV. Folks at Apple, fucking incredible. Amazon is the easiest to do business with, but fucking Apple TV by far, they're fucking hippies like Steve Jobs, and they're like, yeah, that sounds like such fun, man. And I'm like, yeah, man, cool. He's like, okay, well, this is, yeah. Listen, I'm familiar with AWS and integration, everything like that, but their team is phenomenal. We have a great team lined up to help bring this to all these different platforms. Because Weekly Bus, they're about that They have a lot of fans, rabid fans that came lined up before saying, "Hey, motherfucker, stop slacking." And I want to get I'm target fixated. So first, I want to dominate Amazon Prime, which we're doing. We're on number 5, which I want to be number 1. We're going to be number 1, baby. But I'm target fixated. But as soon as the Weekly Bus came on, the fans were like, "Motherfucker, you're slacking. Get it on Roku, motherfucker." And that's what brought on the Weekly Bus fans and Bare Knuckle fans. So I must.
Hey, shout out to our fans.
We're
coming strong arm on a good party. Better chill out though.
Get on Roku, you fucking loser. Okay, fair enough. I comply. Fair enough, sir. I gotta give them the fans what they want. So they want the Weekly Bus on Roku. I'm gonna give them the Weekly Bus on Roku.
When that happens, guess what? Guess who's in trouble? Bleacher Report and all them motherfuckers, man. Because numbers
when we take over CBS, they'll fucking know it.
We're gonna drop more pains than a seasonal worker at Victoria's Secret. Trust me, we got this. We got this. We're in this bitch like an unborn baby. They just don't know it yet.
Putting his head down.
Yeah, kudos to David for realizing a dream for you boys. It's been fun, like I've talked about before, watching you guys, and someone recognized the energy and the dedication, and now who knows what's next.
Hell yeah, man.
It's fun to watch for sure.
Thanks, man. So we're getting down to the wire. I got to get to Washington. I hate to cut this short because I love talking to David.
But I gotta go get to grapple class with Dave Evans. So
fuck yeah, man.
Real quick, man, do you want to shout out anybody? Do you have anyone in particular that you want to shout out? And then we got to nail our sponsors, baby.
Yeah, man. I want to shout out everybody that made Fight World Live what it is today. And also I want to shout out everyone in the MMA community, everyone in the Bare Knuckle community, every single podcast host, whether you guys are arguing or not, whether you're arguing with me or not, whether everyone's fucking, we're all going to come together. We're all for the same purpose, and that's growing the brand, growing the sport. And I'm willing to join in the fun too. So, shout out to fucking everybody that's a part of the Bare Knuckle community that's growing the sport. Everyone in Only Hands growing the sport. You guys growing the sport. Mike and Mish, fucking What the Fuck Network or Planet Hank, and God love you. Fuck you, but God love you. You're helping grow the sport in a sport that I loved my entire existence. And shout out to the boxing community, pro wrestling community, MMA community, fucking all the communities and all the fighters for making this possible. Because without the fighters and without the promotions, Fight World Live wouldn't exist. You guys are the real superstars, and I can't wait to talk to every single one of you and meeting every single one of you. And whoever I met so far, it's been a real fucking pleasure and honor to share your story. And hopefully you can come on our platform and share your story further. So shout out to fucking everybody.
That's why he's a goat at what he does. Did you hear that?
Yeah.
He's a fucking goat, dog. Levi.
No, I didn't. Can you actually repeat?
Repeat that all from the back. We had a miscommunication.
Sorry. Anyways.
Levi, nail it. Oh, who are we sponsored by and why, baby?
This for that boy, Guerrilla Warfare Apparel, the best gear in the fight world. TWB10 at checkout. It's a lifestyle. Join it or get joined off. I guess I don't. That was bad. Joined up. We'll try that again. Guerrilla Warfare Apparel. TWB10 at checkout. Best gear in the fight world. If you don't know, now you know.
I'm high as fuck, so that was really funny.
TWB10 at checkout. Save yourself 10% off your entire order. Go get yourself something sick. Our boy Kyle Hudson at Hudson Trash Removal. If you need it removed, he's probably already got it done in front of you. If you don't even know what you're talking about, then he'll probably take you out too.
Take you out to dinner.
That's right, because he's already got the trash done, baby.
And speaking of dinners, shout out to the Halftime Sports Bar and Casino,
Nice.
where you can get your tacos from Taco Treat and get a cool drink. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to those guys. Those guys are the best sports bar in Great Falls, Montana. And shout out to Jamie St. Mark's, our auntie, and one of our day one supporters. Shout out to 20 Past 4. We have how many locations?
5, right?
That's right. That's right. 2 in Great Falls, 1 in Billings, 1 in Helena, 1 down there in Prescott, Arizona.
Oh, bro.
I'm almost certain it's Prescott.
Yeah,
One more
and-
shout out. Shout out to the best fucking bare knuckle promotion and company, fucking the Weekly Bust. The most creative motherfuckers who are working so hard, putting in the time. It's an honor to work with you guys. You guys are the best in the business. You guys are, making, the promotion of BKFC and with BYB. You guys are promoting the fuck out of all these different bare knuckle fighters. You guys are the best in the game, and shout out to you guys. It's an honor to fucking work with you and call you guys partners. So.
You too, bro. And you actually reminded me of something, dude. So speaking of BYB, I want to shout out our boy Ade. He's going for a championship belt, man. Let's fucking rock and roll, dog.
Let's fucking go, baby.
Yeah, it's going
We
down.
actually helped him get into bare knuckle because he came in as a UFC fighter. He came on our show as a UFC fighter. And he's all like, I'm so interested in bare knuckle.
Because he was right before our boy David Feldman. He's like, hey, tell Feldman tomorrow.
He's
we
like,
can
I
interview
want
him."
in, dude. And then BYB went and came and took him from him. Now look at him. He's almost a champion. Let's fucking go. Champs come on this show, man.
Hell yeah.
David Potter, it's always a pleasure, man. I love talking to you behind the scenes. I love talking to you on the show. This is even better, is being able to talk to you in like this, man. I love it.
Next time we'll get around to golfing, hopefully.
Yeah.
I'll come down to Montana, baby. Let's make it happen.
Hell yeah, let's get it done.
Thank you for your time, brother.
Yes,
I'm
sir.
looking forward to seeing you again, and always Fight World Live, right? Here we go, baby. To the moon.
Right.
Let's fucking go.
With
Yeah.
that,
baby.
we are.